Hello everyone, Skids here and welcome to top 10 essential mods for any beginner player that are just starting to mod their Fallout. All of the mods that are listed here are a must-have for me and I cannot imagine playing my game without them. Now bear in mind that this is my personal list, and if you have any other opinions or any other mods that you personally use, then feel free to post them in the comments. I will be glad to read them. Also, all of the mods are listed in a random order and I think they are all equally important. And now without any further delays, let's get to it. First mod I have for you is called Full Dialog Interface by Cirosan and Shadwar. Now as we all know, in vanilla Fallout 4 with the addition of a new dialogue system, you didn't know what your character was about to say, mainly because there were only parts of sentences as your dialogue choices, and therefore if you choose for example sarcastic option, you had no idea how rash or how bad the answer would be. And that also applied to all the other dialogue choices. Most of them were just yes or no and you really had no idea what you are about to say. Now this mod fixes that and it allows you to basically see the full sentence your character is about to say. Now there are a few different versions of this mod. If you enjoyed Fallout 3's or Fallout New Vegas dialogue system, you can have sort of a list of answers that resembles the previous games. If you enjoyed the new dialogue wheel, you can use that as well. Now there are also tons of translations for this mod, so even if you use a different version of Fallout 4, there is a chance this mod has been translated for you as well. And that's about it. This is a very simple but also important mod, and I think you should definitely start your modding journey with this one. Next up, we've got Enhanced Blood Textures by dDefinder. Yet another mod that is explained by its name. This mod enhances the blood textures. If you ever modded the previous Fallout games or Skyrim, then you are pretty familiar with this mod, because versions of this mod were created for those games as well. This mod replaces the combat blood splatter, it makes it a lot bigger. There is also blood appearing on your screen whenever you are hit. The blood amount that comes out of your enemies is increased significantly as well. And as you can see, whenever I shoot off enemies' limbs or their head, a lot of blood spurts out, and I think it makes combat a lot more engaging. For me, this mod is definitely a must-have, simply because when compared to Vanilla Blood, this one is definitely superior, and I would recommend it for anyone. Coming up next, we've got InGame ESP Explorer by A1, A3, A6, A9. Now this mod only came out recently and I already think it deserves a spot on the top 10 essentials list. Mainly because it allows you to explore any ESPs you have installed. So for example, if you installed a new armor mod but you have to craft it and you don't have any items you need for it, all you need to do is press a hotkey, choose the ESP your desired armor is located at, and then just take it from the loot menu that appears. Now what I really love about this mod is that it is very simple to use, a lot more simpler than the console itself that you can also use to spawn items and all that stuff. But the thing here is that console sometimes doesn't work, you have to write down all the commands and IDs for the items, but with this mod everything is a lot simpler. All you need to do, like I said, is just press a hotkey and you can pick whatever you want. You can of course also go through the vanilla items, so if you're missing a certain weapon or armor and you don't really want to go search for it, this mod will allow you to just spawn the item you need. It is also great for mod reviewers or any video makers like me, because with this mod we can just simply spawn anything we need. It is also a great way of checking if everything is okay with the mod you installed, if you're not missing any textures or meshes, or if you even installed the mod you desired. Now if you don't want to use the original hotkey, which is F12, you can also change it with an ini file that is created automatically when you install this mod. And one thing you also need to use it is Fallout 4 Script Extender's newest version, which is 0.2. So like I said, an amazing mod that is going to save a lot of your time, and I think you should definitely go ahead and check it out. Now let's take a look at Unofficial Fallout 4 patch by Unofficial Patch Project team. Now even though Fallout 4 did not have as many mistakes as some of the previous Bethesda games, it still had quite a few bugs. This mod however tries to fix as many of them, especially those that were not addressed by Bethesda in their patches. There are hundreds of gameplay, quest, NPC, object, item, text and placement bugs fixed, and if you had any problems with any sort of quests or any NPCs or any stuff like that, I'm pretty sure that this mod can fix it for you. Now if you ever modded Oblivion or Skyrim, I think you're pretty familiar with this modding team, since they also created unofficial Skyrim patches and unofficial Oblivion patches that were also essential. Now if you want to check out everything that this mod fixes, there is a link for that in the mod description. Now of course I'm not going to list them here, but if you want you can go ahead and check out the changelog. So yeah guys, I guess that's about it for this mod. There isn't really much to say. All you need to know is that this mod basically fixes every bug you can imagine with Fallout 4, and that you definitely need it. Next up, we've got Armorsmith Extended by Gambit77. This mod overhauls and changes a lot of things about armors and clothings in vanilla game, and it is also one of the essential mods that you need if you want to use any new armors and clothings that were created by other mod authors. Now, first of all, every outfit in the game can now be worn under armor pieces, and all armor pieces should show up when they are equipped. Now, of course, there is some clipping going on with most of the armors, but if you really enjoyed some sort of suit or dress that you were using on your character and you unequipped all the armor you had on yourself and you tried to wear that suit or dress, then this problem no longer exists. Other than that, every hat and helmet in the game that doesn't cover your face can now be also worn together, so you can wear bandanas with helmets and with other stuff. Every outfit and every hat and helmet can now also be modded with some new modifications. There are currently 5 different types of mods: lining mods, outfit add-on mods, headgear add-on mods, glow mods, and eyewear mods. Then this mod also adds tons of new craftable outfits, headgear, glows, custom dog meat, armors, helmets with hair, and a lot of other stuff that is also listed on the mod page. There are also a few other features, but I think that the most important one that I also mentioned in the beginning is the fact that this mod is basically required for you to craft any armors and weapons that are added by different mods. And this mod basically just adds a new workbench where all of those armor mods will be stored. And most of the armor creators or any clothing creators are also creating mods that are compatible with Armorsmith Extended. And I think it is good to have everything in one space instead of it being spread out on different workbenches. So definitely a must-have mod if you want to use some other great looking armor mods. Next mod that is also closely tied to this one is Armor and Weapon Keyword Community Resource by Valdacil and Gambit77. Now this is yet another mod that sort of unifies all the armor and weapon mods so they can be all crafted and used at one place. It is also a modding resource for all the modders that creates a standardized framework for armors so that modders can create and modify their armor. Another one of reasons to use this mod is that it is compatible with item sorting that was created by Valdacil, one of the authors of this mod, and therefore if you use that item sorting mod you have nothing to be afraid of. Now another mod that is also closely tied to this and was also created by Gambit77 is Weaponsmith Extended. I however did not include this mod in this list, mainly because I wanted to have some diversity between all the mods, but I still think you should also download that one because it is basically like Armorsmith Extended except it is for weapons, and it also uses the Armor and Weapon Keyword Community Resource. Now there isn't really much to say about this mod. Like I said, it is mainly a modder's resource for them to create compatible armors and weapons, but you still need to have it installed if you want to use those armor and weapon mods, and therefore you should definitely go ahead and download it. Coming up, we've got Crafting Workbenches by drdanzel. Now, even though Bethesda created a new crafting system along with a new modification system, there were still a few things they forgot, like the weapon, armor or ammunition crafting. Now this mod fixes all of that and it adds a bunch of new workbenches that basically allow you to craft weapons, armors, ammunition, any junk items or any sort of item you want. Now in its core this mod adds weapon workbenches for creating weapons and armors, and there are also optional workbenches for ammunition, pre-war and manufactured weapons and armors, power armors for craftable junk, and like I mentioned for any faction and quest requirement items. Now since it uses Armor and Weapon Keywords Community Resource, modders are also allowed to add any weapons and armors they create to these workbenches as well. What I really like is that all of the items are also sorted, so if you only want to create leather armors there is a specific category for that, or if you want to create some raider armors you can do that as well. When it comes to crafting ammunition, it sort of reminds me of Fallout New Vegas crafting system, where you first have to create lead, primers, and only after that you can create most of the basic types of ammunition. Here they are also sorted in different categories for ballistic ammunition, energy ammunition, and for any sort of special ammunition. So definitely a must-have mod, at least for me. I mean, the ability to craft weapons, armors and ammunition should have been included in vanilla game, but with this mod you can fix that mistake. Next up, we've got Better Settlers by Tom293. This mod changes visuals and a few functions and abilities of settlers to make them work and look a lot better. Now there is a lore-friendly version of this mod, however there are also tons of optional files that you can use. Now the lore-friendly vanilla version adds more than 160 new settlers to the vanilla settler selections, while in vanilla game you could only choose from 30 types of settlers. Now all of these new settlers have different equipment, different facial features, different hairstyles, and there shouldn't be two settlers that would look exactly the same. Now this is what the lore friendly version offers. However, with optional files you can have even better results. Now for example, you can make them also wear some other armors and weapons from other different mods. However, you also need those mods for that to work. You can also make them wear combat armors or other armors to make them a bit more defended. Of course, this is randomly generated and there is a chance that your settler will have a full combat armor or he will only have a chest piece. If you want, you can also make your settlers mortal, since in vanilla game you cannot kill them, or you can even make them tougher if you want them to survive raider attacks. They can also have better weapons and even few stimpaks in their inventory, but like I said, this is all optional. You should also know that this mod only affects generic settlers, so settlers like Sturgis will have nothing changed about them. Overall, I think this is a very useful and important mod, since most of the time in vanilla Fallout 4 you are the one that is mostly occupying all of the settlements, and you are the one that basically chooses what type of settlers are there going to be in there, and therefore I think it is better to have some sort of variety between them. Moving on, we've got Homemaker, Expand the Settlements by NovaCoru. Now I am personally not such a huge fan of the settlement building system, since I mainly suck at it, but I still wanted to include at least one mod for the players who use it and enjoy it. Now there are tons and tons of settlement mods and there are tons and tons of great ones, but I personally went with the most popular one, which is the Homemaker. This mod adds over 1000 new items to your building system, and it allows you to build all sorts of different structures like the urban brick buildings, institute settlements, coastal pier shacks, and a lot of other types of buildings that you can either build on your own, or there are also tons of prefabricated buildings like the Covenant houses. Other than the build sets, there are also new beds, chairs, toilets, showers, new farmable crops, tons of new fences, walls, and every type of object you could imagine is included in this mod. So therefore, if you enjoy the settlement building system and you want some additional mods for it that will make it a lot more fun, then I think that Homemaker is exactly for you. And last but not least, we've got True Storms by fadingsignal. This is yet another very popular mod that most of you are probably aware of. It adds tons of new weather types into your Fallout, but also improving on some of the vanilla weathers. If you want to check out all of those weathers by yourself, you can craft weather manipulation holotape. In this video I mainly tried to show you the new weathers. They're absolutely amazing. There is dusty weather, there is foggy weather, there are even radiation storms that actually give you radiation poisoning, there is even fog or mist. What I also really enjoy about this mod are the new sound effects. They're absolutely amazing, and whenever I was in a storm or in any sort of rain, I really felt like the rain was actually falling on me, and the atmosphere with this mod is absolutely amazing. The glowing sea weather was also changed quite a lot, and so if you're going there, you can expect a few more surprises. There are also some gameplay changes, like for example sneak buffs for player and companion during storms, and there are also new interior sounds for all the weathers as well. Now if you don't like True Storms or you have any reasons for not using it, I would instead recommend Vivid Weathers as an alternative. That is also a great mod that overhauls weather. And that's about it for the True Storms. I think that it is a great weather mod that you should check out by yourself in your game and test it out if you like it. But I would personally recommend it, and you should definitely go ahead and download it. And yeah guys, I guess that's about it. I hope you enjoyed this first top 10 for Fallout 4. There will be a few more coming, also with the usual top 10 for the monthly mods. I also have another rant prepared about Season Pass for my next video, and I will also probably start reviewing mods that are coming out lately, so that I can bring more people from Fallout 4 community to this channel. And yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, tell me what you think about it in the comments, subscribe for more Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas content, and I will see you next time.